Well, I can't say that I don't at least try more experimental, less traditional mainstream films, because this definitely feels like one of the more boundary pushing films I've seen this year. Flow is a Latvian produced animated story that follows a cat in a what we believe to be a post-apocalyptic, but not in a Mad Max way. I mean in like a environmental catastrophe, it is unclear if humanity still exists kind of way. And what makes this quite remarkable is it is essentially an entirely silent film. So you are just following this cat as it engages with other animals, it tries to create its own new environment, and it's the arc of a domestic cat sort of finding its place in a post-human world, which is extremely interesting, extremely unusual, because again, an entirely silent film that follows an animated cat is the kind of film that you don't hear about that very often. And I think the fact that that got made not as a short film but as a feature and released, I think that is, it really shows that sometimes you're going to get some really quality stuff in the cinema that where you're not just going to get the same thing again and again, and you know, at the very edges you will get experimental, boundary pushing films, and this definitely sits comfortably in that camp. That being said, I can't say it sat with me. I think it was interesting intellectually, but ultimately I didn't really have sort of an emotional reaction to it. I thought it was a well-told story that was visually arresting, but it just it told this clear, straightforward story, had its beginning, middle and end. I came away going, oh, that was really well made. But ultimately, I just didn't have any kind of... In the same way that when I watch a lot of short films, you think the craftsmanship, the deft storytelling, using the format, the ways in which, you know, risks might be taken, or you know, different avenues can be used in short films that might not be done in features, but I might not feel anything, and Flow very much sits in that camp, even as a feature that I very much went, oh, I'm really glad that that film exists, but I can't say I had that engagement and that it will live with me in the way that other films have. It is excellent, and I would happily watch a dozen more films this year that are like that, because I want that to be the standard of making new and non-Hollywood-esque films. So I absolutely want to champion something like this, 100%.